Happy Saturday. It's time for a bike ride. So I'm going to head out, this being the first time of the summer, the official summer, that I'm heading out on a bike ride. And it's hot. It's going up to 97 degrees. So it's about 9 a.m. Probably not going to stay out real long, but it feels good right now. So let's head out. I'm wearing my Meta glasses, so I'm going to be trying to film on both. So we'll see how that goes. So join me for this Saturday bike ride through the Chicago suburbs. So I have my phone mounted to my handlebars on the main screen. You're seeing that footage. And in the bottom right corner, you're seeing the view from my Meta glasses. So we're going to start out a little bit through the neighborhood, which is the journey that I take to get to the forest preserve, where they have a really nice bike trail that's protected from traffic, and it's definitely where I prefer to ride, but there's a little bit of a journey to get there. So I figured I would try to show you both views, both from the glasses and from my handlebar mounted camera, because the Meta glasses are great. You can see a little bit more of the scenery, but it can be a little jerky because, of course, the glasses are moving with my head. So every time we get to an intersection, I'm going to be checking back and forth for traffic. And I do realize that's a little annoying when you're watching. So I thought I would have the main camera be the handlebar mounted camera, and the other one just for fun. So we've got dual view here, at least for a while, I think, until we get onto the trail at the forest preserve. And then we'll just go to the main camera, because there's not as much to see other than the woods. But I haven't been riding as much as I'd like to, just because of time, and I've actually been pretty busy with spring yard work and getting things around the house into shape as much as possible, so that now that we're heading into the dog days of summer, the hot months, I'm hoping that I won't have to do all that much yard work, that most of it'll be done. And of course, we're getting into the hot, humid, dry season in Chicagoland. And during that time, usually the grass starts to slow down in its growth, and probably in a few more weeks here, I won't need to do weekly maintenance, and I'll have a little bit more time for leisure activities. So today, with it being expected to get up to 97 degrees and extreme humidity, I figured I would head out on this bike ride early for a Saturday. It's 9 a.m. as I'm getting started on this bike ride, and I thought that would be a good time to do this, because you can be back before the hottest part of the day. So it's nice to get out and get into that summer weather, get out of the air conditioning for a little while. It's probably going to be a a little bit of an abbreviated ride today, just because I don't want to overdo it without riding for a while, and also the heat. I'm just going to try to do about an hour here, so this video, of course, will be less than that because I won't be including everything here, but I'm approaching the beginnings of the forest preserve, so I really don't enjoy riding along the streets. So as fast as I can get over there, the better. I really just do not like crossing these 4 lanes of roadway traffic here. Cars are turning. I'm very glad, though, that they've added this stretch of paved road, or paved bike trail, I guess, once you cross this intersection, because a few years ago they didn't have that, and you had to cross at a blinking crosswalk that was really more of a suggestion than a law to stop, and people just really don't like bike riders on the streets, and I get it, but unfortunately it's the only way to get to these designated bike trails. So I suppose if you have a large vehicle or a bike rack or something, you could transport it by vehicle, but honestly, by the time I would get that all set up on my vehicle and then taken down again, it would add probably an extra hour to the bike riding process, and it's not really something I'm wanting to do. It's a big hassle, so we're just gonna get ourselves over here as best as possible and hope that we don't have any problems with being in traffic. And that's why I take the side streets until the very last moment, so that I can be as safe as possible. And, you know, I'm wearing a bright red t-shirt today just for that added visibility. So there's sort of 3 trails that converge here. This is the Salt Creek we're going over right now, and we'll see that as we go into the trail. But I normally go right here, and that area is a little bit more hilly, and looking for a little bit of an easier ride with the humidity today. So despite this trail being closed, it still will give me a fairly nice ride up until that point. So there's a closure at the expressway because they've been widening it and doing some work there. So now we're in the woods, and we have some shade and just some peaceful serenity for our bike ride. So 294, the expressway, has been under construction for 5 years. It's still not complete. So the sign indicated that the trail was under construction at 294. Well, that's quite a ways off. And honestly, there isn't much trail beyond 294. It opens up into a neighborhood, so we'll see how far it goes. Some kind of a bug landed on my leg, but it got off. The hazards of bike riding.
quite a few people here. Somebody having a dog swim at the pond area. Bemis Woods North. A lot of people do picnics or like family reunions and summertime get-togethers at these pavilions, which you can see off in the distance on my glasses. Especially people that have really small yards or live in apartments. Those pavilions are really popular, so you have to reserve them ahead of time. But the good news is the Cook County Forest Preserve is really large with tons of different preserves, many of which run consecutively together. Like the one that I'm on now interconnects a string of forest preserves. And creates quite a few miles of twisty, scenic, paved trails, which is really nice. I wish I had a little bit of closer access to getting on the trails, just to not have to ride through the neighborhood very much. But oh, there's a bird. Looks like some kind of a crane or something. Wow. Let's turn around and take a look at that. You know, now I'm into bird watching since I've gotten my bird feeders. So I had to take a little break there and get a shot of that bird, make a little short. Always a YouTuber first. Shout out to Life with Ron for teaching me all that. See, most of the time I would have said, oh, yeah, that's nice to play that one. Oh, I gotta get a video. We're passing by a golf course. It looks like it's quite full. Lots and lots of people out. My neighbors were heading out this morning. I saw them getting their clubs in the car, so not sure what course they were playing on, but so we're getting up to 294, which is the expressway I mentioned. It's a tollway that's been under construction for 5 years and never seems to be completed. They're doing a massive widening. Well, I don't know if it's so massive. It's more, there was a lot of bridges that needed to be completely torn down and redone. And there was also the Hinsdale Oasis, which was famous sort of rest stop, really. It branched over the expressway. And those used to be here's the construction that you see. Road closed, can't go any further. That's a new bridge there, so hopefully they'll make it accessible once again. But the Hinsdale Oasis, those oases that branched over the expressway was truly a Chicago thing. As a matter of fact, people would come and go to them and be all excited because you could sit there and eat right over the traffic and watch the cars go by. So believe it or not, people sought that out. So I mean, it was kind of cool to be right there as the cars whiz underneath you, having your meal. So they closed that one, and they closed most of them, unfortunately. I think they were because I think they were pretty much just too expensive to maintain. So they've moved them off to the side like most other states, to the right or to the left, which means that only one direction can stop, I guess. But there are still a few remaining, I believe, but I'm sure once they are deemed in need of repair or the road needs to be widened, they'll eliminate them. Maybe we'll go to one someday on my channel, wherever in the driving along and see one. It's nice to see a lot of people out using these trails. Walkers, bikers. Sometimes I see rollerbladers. All kinds of things. People with dogs. It's not crowded, but it's used, and it seems like most people are getting out here early because we've all heard the weather report. It's supposed to be near 100 degrees until Tuesday, I believe. It's Saturday now. So the novelty hasn't worn off yet. Novelty hasn't worn off yet, so it does feel good to step out into that real heat. But we have so much humidity. That's the problem here, because we've had rain for most of the week, which was welcomed but unusual. So now the heat sets in and you get extreme humidity. So let's go out over this bridge. Take a look at the Salt Creek. We could go mountain biking. Oh, it looks kind of muddy. Yeah, maybe not. I just washed this bike. I don't feel like getting it dirty. A true mountain biker owner. And I just wanted to see what it was like over there it's hilly and it's not very far. That little section lasts, but we'll go back on the paved because that's what I like. And there's another way to get to that area through paved roads. Lots of parking. Well, I've already been filming for, I think, a half an hour, so some of this may get edited down, but I think I'm probably just going to begin heading back because I still have a little bit of a ride through the neighborhood to get home. And I made a grocery order for this afternoon to pick up. So if you know my channel, I really don't enjoy grocery shopping at all, so all right, we made it back to where we started. A little worse for wear, a little hot and sweaty, but my meta glasses held out for the duration of the ride. So I hope everybody has a beautiful weekend. Get out and bike if that's something you do. And until next time, if you haven't subscribed yet, it's not too late. If you have, welcome to the family. I love you for watching. That wind feels really good right now.